I'd like you to take a second to imagine this hypothetical situation. Say a company develops a pill like this one, let's call it the everything pill, and that pill contains all of the nutritional components that you need for your body to keep functioning efficiently. So you can just take it with a sip of water in the morning and then go about your day. You don't need to stop to eat any other food. Would you be excited? Would you be happy to take a pill like that so that you don't need to stop throughout the day to eat, and you don't have to make dinner, you don't need to sit down with your friends and family and all your loved ones to eat? Or would you not be super keen to take this pill? My immediate reaction, and my guess for most of us, is that we would not be keen to take a pill like that, because food is awesome and food tastes too good. What's up, you guys? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Thanks for checking out Align. Please be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe and share with others at the end if you do find it helpful. Okay, today I just wanted to chat about something that I don't think we focus on enough, and that is all the components that make up our total health. Food isn't just a physical thing. Have you ever heard somebody say that they lose their appetite when they're really stressed out? Or have you heard somebody say, I eat my feelings when I'm feeling sad or depressed or down? These are emotional and mental elements, and they are just as important when it comes to food and our health as physical health is. We have to take these other elements into consideration also. When I was anorexic, say I hadn't eaten for 16 hours, I wasn't focused on the physical effects. I was never ever thinking something like,
okay, cool, so my blood sugar level will be low now, so my pancreas can start secreting glucagon so that I can tap into my glycogen and my fat stores, and
on and on and on with all of this scientific jargon. I was never ever thinking something like that. I was thinking things like, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're in control, it's okay, you're good enough, you're in control, you're controlling what you eat, you're fine, everything is okay. Or I was thinking something like, oh my gosh, I ate 50 calories too many, I need to go and burn them off so that I can regain the control because I lost control and I failed and now I've messed up everything, I need to burn them off immediately, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. The way that food made me feel emotionally and psychologically completely overrode how it made me feel physically. And when I went through a bulimic period, I wasn't ever thinking things like,
okay, so I'm a bit hungry, so I'm going to eat a balanced meal of carbs, proteins, and fats, and I'm going to eat slowly, and I'm going to wait for 20 minutes so that my leptin hormone can tell my hypothalamus, okay, I'm satiated, I've eaten enough, and this is going to keep my blood sugar nice and steady because I ate slow-release carbs.
I wasn't thinking things like that. I was thinking things like, oh my gosh, I didn't get the grade that I wanted on my test, or I didn't win my tennis match, and now I'm a failure, and I'm useless, and I'm not good enough, and I don't want to feel this bad right now, and so I'm going to just try and curb these emotions so that I don't need to deal with them. I'm going to eat as much as I can just to numb the pain that I'm in. Those were the things I was thinking. It was completely emotional. I wasn't concerned with the physical effects that the food would have on me. I'm mentioning this because I think for most of us, reason and logic get overridden by flavor and foods that we enjoy and the atmosphere and the overall experience that we have with food and eating. If you can pull a spark and completely factor emotions out of the equation when it comes to food, that's awesome, and honestly, just well done. Those are the people who would be all for taking the everything pill instead of eating food every day. But I think for most of us, there is a very deep mental and emotional element attached to food, because food is an experience and we share it with our loved ones and it tastes good and we have memories of foods, and your mom's world famous apple pie, things like that are emotional. And so the main point that I wanted to highlight in this video is that we should be respectful of one another's personal journeys when it comes to health and wellness, and realize and accept that what works for me might not necessarily work for somebody else. If keto works for you because you get to eat the foods that you enjoy and you feel satiated and you feel fuller for longer and you feel emotionally good about eating like that, that is fine. If a plant-based diet works for you because you feel really energized and you love vegetables and you feel strong and you are in a good space emotionally eating that way, that's also fine. If another person's way of eating doesn't really work that well for you, That is totally fine, and people should respect that. I like eating a lot of small meals throughout the day. Hannes really likes intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting does not work for me based on my restrictive eating disorder past, and Hannes never feels fully satisfied or satiated when he eats small little meals throughout the day. So what works for him doesn't work for me, and that is totally okay. So physical health is super important, but mental and emotional health are equally important, and we shouldn't put down other people if they are prioritizing an element of health that is different to the one that we are prioritizing right now. An example that I want to use for this is orthorexia. That's a restrictive eating disorder where a person becomes obsessed with eating clean foods, and they can develop major or overwhelming anxieties and fears around foods. It's basically like food labeling on steroids. It's good foods and bad foods, and that list of good foods gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and the list of bad foods gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Probably the most irresponsible and damaging thing that me or you or anybody could say to someone who's recovering from orthorexia is to tell them about the negative physical effects that refined white sugar could have on their bodies. Hyper-focusing on food's effects on their physical health led that person into a seriously unhealthy mental and emotional space. So they need to prioritize restoring their emotional and their mental health above the physical health benefits of different foods. The same as probably the most unhelpful thing that me or you or anybody could say to somebody who is overweight and who struggles with binge eating would be to say to them, just eat less and move more. Like, thanks, Captain Obvious. If it was that easy, the person wouldn't be in that situation in the first place. And that just sets them up to feel like they are weak and have no self-control. It's not only unhelpful, it can be very detrimental. We need to take our mental and emotional health into consideration when it comes to health and wellness and what we eat. So definitely do focus on eating nutrient-dense foods 80% of the time, the 80-20 rule. But remember that the mental and emotional components of total health are just as important. My way of eating isn't the only way or the right way to eat. Your way of eating isn't the only way or the right way to eat. You do you. So I just wanted to chat about that in this video, and just to highlight the fact that we need to be physically, mentally, and emotionally in a good space to be really, truly healthy. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for watching. Please remember to hit like and subscribe and share it with others if you did find it helpful. Do you guys have specific ways that you like to eat, smaller meals throughout the day, or do you do intermittent fasting? Are there foods that you really enjoy and foods that you could kind of live without? What have you found that works for you in terms of living a sustainable, healthy lifestyle? Please comment below. Please go check out alignfitness.co.za. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and on Facebook also. I hope you've had an absolutely awesome weekend. I love you guys. Jesus loves you guys. Please stay tuned for the next video. We're still going on with the at-home workout series. And I'm also going to do a series about debunking food myths. I'm going to start with potatoes because I think that those poor dudes get a really bad rap. So stay tuned for that video. I love you, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!